Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown and you lose you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
So before this movie...
I don't know if you
No,
shouldn't put that in
no,
there.
I'm not.
Don't put that in there.
Before this movie, I thought hockey was the best sport. And then after this movie, I know hockey's the best sport.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's a good. I like that intro. Yeah, because football, man, football is just like
And
you
to
know,
be clear,
silly.
we're talking soccer. I told my sister
Yes.
because she's super into soccer, but I told
Does
her, I'm
she
like,
know?
this week we're doing football movies, and she's like, oh, I hate football. I'm like, no, you don't. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
just, I always hated the term soccer because it doesn't make any sense. That's one thing I can agree with. But
No. I will right now.
American
I will.
football.
I will break.
I'm
gonna
just gonna
break
call it
the
American
barriers.
football from now on. Is the thing. The difference.
Everybody in the world right now, listen to me. Soccer is a very normal, correct term. It is used in Britain. Soccer originates before football. So
Well, sure.
I'm so upset. No. Fucking football. Like soccer, we call it
But if
soccer in
anything's
America.
going to be called football, it's not the sport you throw shit with your hands. It's the
No,
sport
oh my
you
God.
kick a ball with your foot.
No, football. Oh my God. Okay, you're getting convoluted here, real quick. Rugby was first.
Okay. Yeah.
And rugby was called football. And so in Britain, I'm not even talking about America. In Britain, in the 1800s, they didn't want to differentiate between, they had to differentiate between rugby and then what soccer became. They called that associated football. And so associated football got shortened in Britain with their funny slang to sos. And then sos, and then they would put at the end of words to be like they say it in this movie. In Green Street Hooligans, they talk about how they rhyme things and stuff, and they like to do that, like those goofy shit.
Those
silly
Britons.
I know they're really they're goofballs, man. Their food's beige.
Hey, if anyone is listening from across the pond, we love you.
Yeah.
We're just a couple dudes.
No,
in
we
Utah,
do
so.
love you. And there's some people who posted on the Reddit, and I'm pretty sure they see it seemed very like this movie's very near and dear to their heart, and I love that.
I haven't read any of them. I'm excited to read them later.
But they called it SOS, and they added ER, and so they would call it like soaker, and they called it soccer, and soccer was the term people in Britain used way before they started calling it football, and then football caught on, and there's still the associated football, and there's still soccer. Like people still
Did
use
you
soccer
get that?
as
Everybody
like a
in the
terminology.
world, everyone in the world.
And so,
did you get
yes,
it?
everyone in the world. And then
I'm
Americans started
educated.
using soccer as a term because
It's because the
they
way
were
we say
using
it, we
as a
say
term.
soccer, and everyone's like, ew. The way we say
Yeah.
it.
Right. It made me so mad in this movie because I was like, I swear, I remember hearing this like a million years ago that like soccer like didn't come first, but like soccer was like slang. It was like soccer was slang essentially because that's what it is. It's slang for football. And so I'm like, soccer's a term that they use.
Chicken
so
and
when
the
they
egg
said,
kind of thing. Like,
when they got mad, when he's
Yeah,
like, don't
like-
call it soccer.
well,
and
that's
I'm like-
definitely
I'm like,
become.
They call
a
it
thing.
soccer.
That's definitely become a thing, though. It's like you definitely still. I've
Sure.
heard that.
Right. But that I'm
gonna make my own sport, and I'm gonna just call it football. And it's just gonna be it's gonna be
Yeah,
hacky
football.
sack or
Well,
something. Like,
No. I'm gonna start a sport. And it's gonna be called football, and then it's where someone has to sacrifice their foot, and you sever their foot off at the beginning of the game.
Oh, I like
and
that.
and you have to finish the game before they die, before they bleed out,
what
and
are
then
we
they can go to the
talking-
hospital.
what are we
Whoever
talking
scores
about?
whoever scores the most points with the severed foot.
that's the game I want. That's the game I want to see.
Yeah.
I'll start
That's
I'll
football.
start a gang around that football.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Yeah, dude, this movie, man.
So we are talking about. Jordan mentioned it briefly. Green Street Hooligans is what it's called here. I've seen it called. Apparently, it's also called Green Street or just Hooligans or wherever.
Or just Hooligans. I
Yeah.
know, right? I was
know what I'm
searching it
talking
online,
about.
And I'm like, they're like Hooligans because it's like at like South by Southwest. It was called Hooligans, and I was like, what? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that happens all the time. name
You get,
changes,
yeah, you
but-
get it. You know what I'm talking about. So we're talking about that movie with Elijah Wood, Charlie Hunnam. Very quickly, I realized we didn't do a synopsis last time, so very, very quickly, I'm going to do a very quick synopsis. Where, so Elijah Wood, I already forget his name. It's like fucking Jake Baxter or some bullshit.
It's Matt
Max,
Buckner,
it's
dude.
Buckner, yeah. He's in Harvard, and his cokehead roommate, like, who's like, you know, the son of a politician, gets found with coke, and he takes the fall, and so he gets expelled from Harvard, and he goes to visit his sister in England, and his brother-in-law, he falls in with like his brother-in-law's brother, and kind of by chance, who's, you know, a hardcore soccer baddie fan, is part of a soccer gang, or what do they call it? They don't call them gangs.
A firm.
Firm.
They call them firms.
Sure.
Yeah.
The gang. He falls
You
in
can
the
tell.
gang.
You can tell we're very we're very enthused
Yeah.
about this.
And he falls in with them, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I'm a badass," you know. And then he's like, "Oh, the Yankee's a badass," but then there's the one jealous boyfriend of the main guy, and he's like, "No, this guy's not. We hate outsiders," and like flicking cigarettes at him and stuff. And his sister's
Bova.
like, his sister's like, "You've changed," and he becomes a part of it, but it's not really. I don't know. And then gang tensions rise, and you find out that the brother-in-law, he's like, "I used to be the captain of the gang," and they're like, "Oh no!" And then the rival gang guy fucking stabs him, and it just gets too violent. And they're like, "We gotta pay it back." And so they have like many street brawls, and then in the last one, they're like, "We gotta give it back because they tried to kill, you know, what's his face." And then the sister shows up with the baby to the brawl for some reason. And Charlie Hunnam's character is like, "No, mate, I gotta save it. You get out, get my brother's family out of here." And so he like sacrifices himself, sort of, and dies. And fucking David Bruckner, the filmmaker, he goes back to Harvard and is like, he's not a pussy anymore. And he's like, tells the guy, and he's like, "You fucker, I'm getting back into Harvard. I'm not taking your shit no more." And then he chants going down the street to himself that he's part of something, but he's alone. That's all.
Yeah, right.
That's all you're getting from me.
His brothers are bubbles up in heaven.
Yeah, pretty much.
know.
So this movie, tell me, Jordan. I know you've not seen it before. Neither have I. What were your first impressions, bud?
Yeah. The second the movie started, I was like teleported back to the early 2000s.
Yeah, bud.
It had like the cell phones were sweet, and like everything about it. The Elijah dude, don't even. So that's the thing. That's like the fact that like, so like I remember when because this is right after Sin City came out, and I remember when Sin City came out, and like Elijah Wood played the creepiest character. He was like he's a little pervert, and like he plays that guy, and I remember being like, "Oh shit, Elijah Wood fucking rocks," and he's lived up to that to present day. Like Elijah Wood will be in any movie, and they're amazing, and he's got his own little production company now, so they make like
he's like
crazy
huge
I haven't
for
seen Guns
horror.
Akimbo yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. I want to see that. One really bad. But anyways, so it's like it's cool that Elijah Wood kind of like I feel like he's still doing what he wants. He's kind of like a Robert Pattinson. Like he didn't get pigeonholed necessarily. He did like kind of a huge high fantasy movie.
Yeah.
And then
he's so known
if you
for
didn't know,
being
he's Frodo.
right?
Yeah. And so out there in podcast
this
land,
is an
you've never heard of
interesting-
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice because
But-
this was like right after Lord of the Rings too, right? Or like maybe even
I mean,
because
or probably even during.
maybe even
right?
during. I
Wasn't
feel
it?
like the last Lord of the Rings was like 06 or something. I
Probably,
don't know.
yeah,
It's either
Anyways,
during
but
the last one or like
it's-
right shortly thereafter, which is an interesting choice. He's like, I just want to do something small and chill, you know what I mean, or something.
Right.
And I got
he
like
must,
a tiny
like
tiny chin beard, which is weird a little bit. Like,
yeah, I know, right? He's always kind of that. He lives in that realm of like looks kind of like a he's like a looks perpetually 16, but
Yeah.
you know, with the chin beard, he looked good. But no, so I like didn't really know what to expect with this, but the first 5 minutes of it when he gets to London, you know, like jolly old, I'm like, okay, I know like exactly what this is going to be. It's going to be a movie that if I liked soccer, I would like, if I knew like, you know, associated football, I would be like, oh, cool. Like this is, you know, I think especially at that age too, if I was even just like tangentially involved in this sport, you know, and like I liked it at all, I would watch this and think it was kind of cool and fun.
It's a
and
fun,
like, you know,
gang
it's basically
skirmishing type movie.
It's
yeah.
This Is England, but for people who like football. Like,
Yeah, it's
that's
like a modern-
I love This Is England because, you know, I like the old punk scene, and so it's like
This is England.
that's cool. That's cool with me, and so it's like. I get, you know, they're like, it's for those people. Like, this movie is 100% not for me at all. I'm not a big, if you didn't know from all this, we're doing sports movies this month, and I'm not a big fan of sports per se. But I do really like movies, and I think this movie did a fun job with kind of giving like the scrappy young kids kind of a heart, you know, and that kind of fun,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun that way. It's shoestring on plot. But it's just like that brotherly love, you know, is there. Like, and it's funny to hear them all talk about like, you know, Wanka, you gotta have a full English, you know, mate. Like,
yeah.
it's all
Give
fun
him
having
some-
that.
He's
And
just
apparently
the yank, you know.
yeah, and like Charlie Hanneman like was like got like panned for his accent. Like, his accent was like rough, which I'm like, to me it all sounds the same. It all sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's fine.
No,
It's extra. Whatever he's doing is extra, but it fits his character, I guess.
I don't know. And I love Sons of Anarchy. So seeing him in this, I'm like, is that the Sons? He like looks too young. I was like, or just, you know, it's so funny. But he did Sons of Anarchy a couple years after this, so it's like funny that, you know, it's like right there. But anyways, what did you think about this? What were you? Did you go? Rum ham?
Yeah.
The whole time.
So as it started, there's like that first fight scene in the subways, and they go up top and they fight, and it's literally like the camera guy's having a seizure while he's filming it. That took me back to 2005. Big time is just like the shakiest. Like, let's shake it even more, just for fun.
I forgot they did a fight the first like 30 seconds of the movie.
And it I don't know, and so I can't say for sure, but it opened during the fight scene was the like opening beats of Disturbed's Down with the Sickness. It's like dun, 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 dun. Like it started doing that. But
really, I don't.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, is this it? And then it was like it was the same thing, but like in a different key. And then it never progressed. And so I was like, oh, so they just like copied that song that was popular, but changed it enough so that they didn't have to pay rights to it because it's different enough. And I was like, oh no, oh no, that's what we're in for.
I didn't even catch that, but that totally this
they
is
may
totally
have
like an
used
indie
it.
darling. So
yeah, they could have. But I doubt they could have paid for that song in 2005. But
yeah,
and I mean, you'll tell me budget later because I might be more forgiving because obviously this movie has a budget. But like, it was just, it had charm. And it had that brotherly thing going on, and like it did a pretty good gang dynamic, but I thought it was just very kind of amateur and poorly made throughout. And so I kind of struggled with it just because it was like the editing was not good, the camera work was not good, the fucking music choices were
the camera work. I will say though,
strange.
the camera work, like when like what they were doing. It really is. If you put that up against a movie from 2001 to 2009, you put it up to like an indie action film or even just an indie film with like fighting, it really like, it's so funny how like, I'm wow, man, I really am so bummed. I'm bummed that we did that. No, because it does feel, it feels even more like amateur, you know.
It feels like Shake It specifically. Like, so the most egregious part of that was the like second or third. There's like 10 fight scenes, where they're doing it in the tunnel, you know. And that one, it's literally to make it seem like there's more going on. They're literally just like shaking it up and down. They're just like the camera, like they're just shaking it, like in small little shakes too. Like it's not even like I don't know. It drove me nuts. Honestly, it drove me fucking nuts.
It was painful. Yes, I will. Yes, I will give you that.
And it's the script was bad, but I feel like there is a heart here. I didn't hate it. Like I feel like I could have easily hated this.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was good, like at all.
No,
But-
right. I never want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did.
I'm glad
you
that
know,
I did. And it's like, even though Charlie Hunnam, or however you say his name, his acting, I guess, is over the top or whatever, and his accent, but it's like, I thought he was fun. I thought he did his character good. I thought they all did their characters good. It's just hard for me to buy in, because it's like, they keep being like, we're not a gang, but then it's just like, they're like, base their entire lives around the fandom of the sport. And it's like and I know that's obviously a cultural thing too, but the whole entire time I'm like, you guys are taking this all so seriously. Like, it is so serious. Like, calm down. Like, and just the way it was paced out too is just like, okay, bud, calm down. And I honestly, as much as I like Elijah Wood too, I think he was kind of miscast. I don't know. Because he was like, you cast him to be like this like pussy little pretty boy, but he's kind of not. Like, he very quickly like realizes he's got it in him. Like,
yes, I thought that was silly. It was literally the first fight he was in. He won, and then they were like, "You're in it." And it felt very rushed for sure on his character development. And then there was my thing is, and this is unfortunate. I feel like it's like whatever screenplay book that they wrote, how to write a screenplay book, that was like everyone was kind of reading back then.
Yeah,
it's like they're like, all right, you have to have like the the A, B, and C plots, and then this had like A, B, C.5, where it's like, and then like they kind of had to like explain all of it too.
They're this guy's a villain, and then it's because like his son died, and it's like comes more of a thing.
And then they would explain like having like, it was just so silly because it was like they literally would like one scene right before, so they explain, oh, these are firms, these are divisions, this is how it works,
and I appreciate
kind
that.
of poorly.
I appreciate it.
I still got a little confused. But that's just because, I don't know, I kind of zoned out too, because I hear like every like Bruckham and then Bookham and then Rumham, like every place has ham at the end of it, and I'm just not from there, so I'm like, I don't know, man. I know we've got a lot of that here too in America, whatever, dog on us, I don't really care, whatever. But I'm not loyal to the U.S. either. But anyways, I was like kind of glazed over when they were doing that, but then like literally like the next scene when they're like, all right, the like to move the plot along, we're gonna draw lots for what divisions are gonna soccer against each other, and then the two rival teams get the division, and it's also like perfect serendipitous that like it just feels, I know, the plot is so thin, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel bad because I'm like, I can totally see this movie like connecting with somebody when they were younger and they love the sport. And like it kind of it's like mythical to how this really works. Like I know like this hooliganism and like this whole like the firms, and then like having people be the fanatic fans, that happens here in America too. We get like there are riots after the Super Bowl and shit. But like it's not the same. Where this is like a ongoing. They do this for the years, forever. It's like kind of one of those things where it's like he's like, I'm the head of the firm with this reputation. And I'm like,
they're gangs,
doesn't really
but
happen.
they won't. That's what bothered me. And it's like, I know there's some truth to it, but like, they're gangs, but they won't admit they're gangs. But they're clubs essentially that are formed around.
And they're not like affiliated officially with
they're fan
any
clubs.
Football leagues or anything. They're just fucking, it's fantasy football, but they take it so serious that it becomes like where I'm like, this actually probably is even more violent in real life than in this movie. Like it's probably like, you get
like
the actual more of a nuisance.
Good brawl.
Yeah. But like watching this movie, I'm like, they make it seem like
it becomes that.
It
becomes like a Boys in the Hood, like where it's very much like these gangs, and it's about like this brother, like it comes into like a feeling of belonging, and you would think that would come around to being like a negative message where it's just like, oh, he's got to realize that it's just like that's actually bad, but no, in the end, he's like chanting down the street.
Confidence.
It's like I want to join a gang now, but I'm gonna call it a firm, so it's okay. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I almost get it more when you're just trying to fucking control the drug trade or something. Like that makes more sense to me than just being like, I'm really into soccer. You know what I mean?
I know. Right? That was. I know. I guess that's it. I just don't have that.
He's
I don't
like,
have
we're
that
not
emotional
bloods or
connection.
gangs, you know. He's like,
I know,
we're
when he-
gentlemen.
when he said that-
we like sports. Like that's what
Yeah,
it is.
no,
and I'm like, nah, you
literally,
guys just killed each other.
And then the next scene, they're like rampantly racist, and you're like, all right, guys. I mean, you are. It's like the same. It's like okay, you're not like you're like. I'm gonna stand up for this like woman on the bus, but then I'm like, try to beat up black people because I hate them.
Yeah.
you're like, alrighty,
Okay.
like you're like, what kind of message are you trying to?
Well, right,
send
and
to
it
these
ends
children?
where it's just like
No wonder a 12-year-old died in one of your rows.
rouse, yeah. So it's like, yeah, what by the end of it, he's like, I'm a badass now. I stand up for himself, and that's good because he's like, I got the confidence now to like be who I thought I could be, and I'm not gonna get stepped on anymore. And it's because of my gang, essentially. And I'm like,
What's he gonna do at Harvard though?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Go start.
Yeah,
he's
what
gonna
did
go
you-
start a
he's-
fucking firm, and then he's gonna be a kingpin. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well, and the funny thing is, dude. Okay, then this is. I don't know. Whatever. Well, I'm dogpiling this. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's like I truly like. If you love this film, I'm very happy for you.
I get it.
I 100% get it because it is. There are so many parts of it that are like cool. It's kind of like Bronson to me, or something like it's like or that I mean Bronson's the other one, but then he did the other ones that were. Oh my god. Anyways, I can't think of the title for him now, but there's a bunch of them. There's like Pusher, I think.
Oh
or
yeah,
something,
Pusher.
But,
Yeah.
he did a bunch of those, and it's kind of like that, where it's like it's kind of dorky, but it's like, but they want it to be cool. But anyways, what I'm talking about, like there are too many plot lines where it's like you have the divisions, then you have him being the fact that they were like, we hate COPPAs and we hate the press,
Dude.
and I'm like,
I was crying.
I'm like, no,
There's
And
it's
you're-
like he's an
he's like,
undercover. What was the slang they kept saying? Journo.
Yeah,
he's a journo.
yeah, journo. He's
And
a
I'm
journo.
Like, what?
And
That's
I'm just like, he's a like journal. I'm like, journalism. I get it. No, and like, there's a whole thing. I'm like, I'm not naive. I understand. Like, the fucking press is very important, and it can change tides. It can do like the press is very strong, but the fact that like I'm like, you're a fucking fan club on this thing. Like they write like you're fighting. I'm like, you did do those violent things though. Like I don't know. They're look at them like spreading our name, smearing our name in the paper, and I'm like, but you had a bunch of loose bricks and you like hit people with them. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's like what you did was so small town, and also,
proud.
Like,
it's
what
like
is
such
it
a
doing?
pride, but
Yeah,
also
yeah, and you're like look at them like saying these things that we did, and I'm like but you did directly those things. They didn't say like, oh, you went and robbed like a shop and then beat up an old woman. Like they're not slandering your name. They literally said you were in an alleyway and you fought these people and caused like
And sure, it's one
damage to
thing to
people.
like. I don't want to
know.
get like illegal trouble. I don't want my name to be associated with it or whatever. You know, to taint our name. But it's like everyone knows like that's a rep. If you're not going to jail, then it's just like that's good press for your rival firms.
Like,
you know,
I know, right? I just was so confused, and I was confused because I'm like, why don't you just have your own journos? Why don't you have your own? You've got all this time to devote to walking around like the alleyways and punching people.
Dude,
but like,
yeah, if he was
you can't
like
just have
the
a guy
journalist-
who writes journalism for
he's
you.
the
I don't
journalist on the
fucking-
inside, and he's gonna spin it in your favor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's a scene when he's like, I teach kids, I'm wicked smart, and I was like, no, you're not. You should just be using a journalist to say good things about you. I don't fucking understand. Journalism's not that hard. Like it's like you just. If you have connections and you have a group of people and you
it's like they treated him like he was a cop. I feel like in the first draft he was a cop, and then they're like, nah, that doesn't play. Like that's played out. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that
right.
makes sense. Like you don't want a copper around in that, or whatever. But
no,
it's like if
dude,
his dad
truly,
was
like,
the chief of police or something, that'd be a different story. But
that would make a lot more sense. And like, but that's just that him being like, and then what? Okay, this is what frustrates me with the script itself. They put all this emphasis on him being a journalist, and then it's like what happens is like this is what you get with like a lot of like indie films like this too. And this is her first like feature film that she did, so that kind of shows as well. But
a woman directed this?
Yeah, right. I know,
shocking.
right, surprising.
The one female character is so dumb.
It's so like two-dimensional. Yeah. So but anyways, yeah, she her name's Lexi Alexander.
Oh, okay.
This is her first film, and then she directed a Punisher movie after this, and that's pretty much those are the big things she's done. But anyhow,
There's potential,
it's like
though. You know what I mean? I can see it.
I don't know. I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. But anyways, I'm ragging on like the logistics of like there are too many plots, and then so much stuff that got like it would be like answered. They would just like, oh, that's what it is. It's like he finds his computer, and they find that he's been writing a diary, and what he's been writing is kind of weird also because it's like a journal. It's not a diary. He was writing an article. It was like an article. Anyways, but anyway, I mean that's just me being pedantic, but it's like that happens, and then like there's no repercussions. He explained it. He's like, yeah, I'm writing a journal, and then they're like, oh, okay, and then Braver,
better be,
yeah, right, really though, yeah, and then Braver is doing something else, and then they get in a fight. I don't know. I kind of lost the plot there.
Yeah,
when I was watching it,
he like rats him out to the rival guys. You know what I mean? And then it ends up with the brother-in-law getting fucking shanked in the neck with a bottle. And that's fine because
right. But I don't get it.
It's not about soccer
They know
anymore.
where they hung out. Yeah. They knew where they hung out anyways. They knew
but
their
it's
bar.
Personal, now, you know. And it's like I'm gonna fuck him up. But he lives there. Like he lives in town. It's like if he wanted to get revenge, he's not like he was in hiding and is back in town all of a sudden. It's just like he was in the bar and he's like he's there now. Let's get him. And I'm like he's just probably works down the road.
It's so small, dude. It's like the size of Utah. Like it would be like if somebody lived in Provo and you lived in Salt Lake, and they're like,
killed my son.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's like yeah. Like I have to make a special trip there, and it's like no. I mean, you just like I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Okay. So those are some gripes. Some things that I liked about it is that Elijah Wood was in it.
I'm not done griping. The fucking
yeah, go for it. I am. I got to take a breather.
I'm about to be done griping because I wasn't offended, but I was laughing out loud at the climax when like why the fuck the sister / wife or whatever.
I'm back in, dude. Like, why the fuck did she show up?
She's like, I'm gonna leave. It's not safe anymore. My husband is dying in a hospital, and I got to get out of here. But then she's like, just takes a wrong turn onto this deserted beach or something, and is just there. And she gets out of the car like she's there for a reason, but it's not really. She's like, oh wait, and then the guy's like, I'm gonna get you, and she's like, oh no, gets in the car, and then fucking Charlie Hunnam's like, no. If you want to redeem yourself, you could get my family out of here. And then Brover, the boyfriend or whatever, the guy who's like obsessed with being the number two. He does that sweet running kick though, which is pretty cool. The 2 feet kick.
Yeah, against the car. Yeah, right.
But
yeah, he does some.
Why is she there? Why did she bring her small child there to like break up this like 40-man brawl? Like what the fuck is that?
Why wasn't she with the fucking husband in the hospital?
Or leave the country like support. She said she was fucking going to. Like, why go there? I don't know. It just felt like they're like, we need to wrap that up somehow. So she's just gonna show up. So it was just definitely one of those decisions where it was just like, we need Charlie Hunnam to have his character arc where he can he redeems himself and he sacrifices himself for his family, his real family. You know what I mean? And then he just gets beat to death because he eggs on the other guy enough. And why? I don't know. It did not work for me at all. Like I was laughing because it was so silly. Yeah. And
when she showed up,
it was so serious. Everything was so serious, but I'm just could not take any of it seriously, you know, the whole movie. And I think that was my biggest thing.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's one of those things where it wasn't, it's I get what they were trying to portray with this, with that, the community aspect of it, and then trying to shy away. Cause I watched a little interview blip with the director, and she's like, oh, I didn't want to do any beautiful, glamorous shots of the fighting. I didn't want to glorify the fighting, essentially, which I'm like, well, he kind of did a little bit, but I mean, it's inevitable because that's it's kind of part of
it's part of his arc too, where he's like, once you realize you're not made of glass, you can be capable of a lot more stuff. Because he even says the violence, once I got used to the violence, I fucking got off on the violence, and I'm like, calm down, Elijah Wood.
Yeah. I could see Elijah Wood being in a fight club for reals.
He does seem like the kind of guy.
Yeah.
I get it.
But
No,
yeah, no,
I get it.
When she
Because
shows
there-
up, that's what I'm saying. That's
There's a
another
certain
thing
amount
about
of
this.
charm. There is a certain amount of charm at the heart of this. The characters and the overall camaraderie and the like low budget amateur style filmmaking, like it does feel like scrappy, which you know how I feel about a good little scrappy kind of punk rock kind of movie. And so
Well, there's
I appreciate
parts
that.
of it
I appreciate that.
that I'm impressed because I don't really know Landmarks very well. So I don't like, so I feel like it's probably like, you know, near and dear to her heart. And then also like, I'm kind of like, I don't know what the procedure is. It's like if an indie film wanted to shoot at the Super Bowl. That's like I don't know if they were shooting at like a real match, because apparently they filmed like a real match, but I can't tell if they like cut in between it or something. I don't know how they like filmed it per se. Like if this was like a real match that was like live, you know, I don't think they were like actors. I think it was like a real, I don't know. Someone out in podcast land can tell us. If you come to the Reddit, you know, let us know if like, I'm pretty sure it was real when I was looking online.
And then maybe for the
everything
close-ups, they just like filmed like later.
Yeah, they could have filmed anywhere
some
else
extras.
essentially for the stuff that doesn't show the whole stadium. But like I don't know. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. But I can't take this stuff serious, man. I don't even know what the equivalent would be for me. But like when he like walks out, you know, on the pitch, whatever, and he's like, you see this? This is soccer, and it's like, you know, he's like, it's fucking football. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, there was like, what, like 1,000 people there? And like, it just seemed, I don't know. I'm just like, the energy of it to me, I'm like, man, sports just do not excite me in the slightest. And so like, I think that's what's so hard for me is I can't connect. So I know I was trying to get in the mindset of like somebody who finds a lot of passion in this, and like to see it'd be like glorious. But I feel like there's something flat about it. Like it couldn't get me excited. And I'm kind of like,
I don't know, man.
I'm a tough customer, but
even if I was
Yeah,
a
I don't know.
diehard soccer fan, like, you know, I'm not like, I like hockey, and
well, like Mighty
enough.
Ducks makes me hard for hockey.
Yeah.
I'm hard for hockey, dude. When I watch Mighty Ducks, I'm like, this shit is sick.
But
dude.
it was like
when
more
they're out
about
there, like,
hockey.
skating.
Like that's the thing. Like this was a kind
Yeah,
of
that's
about
true.
soccer for like the first half, and then it became more about like the gang rivalry,
the crime, more crime
which
drama.
which is totally fine. You know what I mean? But it's just like it's hard to make those same justifications because it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's the fanaticism. Like I feel like it's showing like all these toxic behaviors and being like, no, that's cool. That's our thing. And I'm like,
that's
but
a good. That's
the
a good
way that it
comparison.
devolves into like it's again, they barely even talk about soccer in the back half, and I don't know. It's like you would think that it would come away with some kind of thing like, oh, I'm in too deep. It's become this thing where it's like I appreciate the finding a home and the camaraderie, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I kind of wish that's. I think what I'm trying to say, when the plot lines, there are too many of them. If you scrapped the journalism part and then you just made two people in the firm rivals, and then you kept it at that, or even having the two separate firms, I feel like there just wasn't enough connective tissue to make that really really impactful. Because when he's like, you killed your son, and I'm like, I don't even like. I mean, I don't know. Like he's holding onto this grudge clearly, and like that's
We didn't even meet that guy until like an hour in. Was, you know,
that's the thing, right? Exactly. And you meet him.
So I'm like, I don't
such
care.
a like. He's like such a like you. It shows him he's supposed to be so like Bover or whatever is he's the villain. And then that's what this movie just does. That it's like he's the villain, then the villain trades to this guy, and like the movie just kind of fumbles that. It fumbles the the baton handoff.
I feel like it
of,
just
who's supposed to be the bigger baddie now.
It spends
really,
time on things that could be better spent elsewhere. I think is kind of what it boils down to. Because they're like spreading it out, and I mean it's like an hour 40, but it's like they're spreading it out to all these other things. But it's just like the scene where they're on the train. And they're like, we're going to get jumped. And he's like, I got a plan. So they emergency stop the plane.
That's a whole sequence, dude.
They get off. And they're like, oh, wait, the Yanks he's got a smart Harvard boy idea. And they literally just drive the truck up to the guys and then fight them anyway. Like, what is the point of that?
No,
like, it's like 20 minutes.
And did you notice that the driver also fought with them?
Did he?
And I was like,
he's like, yeah, run him.
Yeah, Dude, I saw that and I'm like, there's no fucking way that I'm like, just like the actor was there and he's doing it. But it's one of those movies where I'm like, they don't give any, it's like, I don't know. This is one of those films that it's fun and has charm, and I will remember it more fondly than just of watching it. Cause like, there are just so many, not even necessarily loose ends, but there are too many plot lines that like they wanted to follow. And it's just one of those things where they're like, it's kind of one of those movies where it's like, all right, instead of being a character study or, even, showing the tightness, like, cause I'm thinking like in Trainspotting, who everybody is. Like all of the characters are very fleshed out and like well lived in, where this, it's like, it shows them and they're like caricatures. It's like, all right, he's the wild party boy that smokes cigarettes, he's a pilot for some reason. Like, here's this. But dude, do you know what's crazy? Did you know there's a sequel to this film?
I saw that.
And it takes place. It's kind of, I'm actually like, I kind of want to watch it just because it's literally it's like the day after the big fight or whatever, I don't know. It's probably like weeks after. But it follows the like side characters, because obviously the main character's dead and Elijah Wood's back in the US.
Yeah.
It follows them and they're like all in prison. And then it's like they have like little prison rivalries and stuff, and like they play soccer in the prison yard and stuff. And it's like, I think it's like it takes place. It's like a single location movie in the prison.
See, that sounds kind of cool,
those characters.
though.
And I'm kind of like, I was like, wow, that's kind of and fighting in a prison kind of seems, it seems more interesting.
It's like having those kind of gangs, like that is a more
controlled.
The stakes are higher because they kept trying to be like, I don't know, like it's like so intense, and it is life or death. It becomes, obviously, but it's just like,
sure, it's violent.
Lot
like
of why.
that's the thing. It's like, and what, like, dude, when I was watching this, the amount of like random loose bricks that people had, I'm like, I get it. Like the whole, like, that's all you had to build your whole city, 200 years ago. But like, it's like, where do you get, I could not right now. I wouldn't know where to find a loose brick. Like, I would have to go to Home Depot.
That's a London
I'd have
thing,
to go
dude.
through a line. I'd have to purchase. I'd have to have a paper trail. Fucking use my credit card, like tap pay to get a brick. I don't even know how to get a brick.
I got cinder blocks. I don't got bricks. I was just saying,
and that's what I mean. They weren't throwing cinder blocks, brother. They were throwing fucking bricks.
They should have been just cinder blocking a guy. If they cinder blocked that guy's kid, that would have been good. That would have been better.
That would have been cool, yeah, man. I'm like, they should have. There's like, I don't know, and that's what's funny. The fighting. So they got a choreographer in this that like did like a lot of choreography. He's like one of those. He's just old school. I think he did like Chuck Norris shit and stuff. Anyways, it was so underutilized too. Even the fighting was like it was so shaky, and then it just kind of all looked rushed and amateur-y, and I think that's part of it where I'm like, there was no, I was trying, guys. Yeah. I really was. Like, I was trying to cling on to something in this.
Well,
and
it's I'm just getting mixed signals, because I get because the tagline of this one is like, stand your ground, and I'm pretty sure that's what the sequel's called, is like, it's like Green Street 2 Stand Your Ground or something like that, or Never Back Down or something.
I think there's also another tagline on this that says like, know when to fight, know when to give up.
Really?
Let me look.
But it's like this idea.
Oh, it's stand your ground and fight. Yeah.
And it's like, I get the mentality of like, standing up for what you believe, and it's like, I get like the family you choose, and it's like that's what you build. But it's just like the way it goes about it, and then the ultimate messaging. It's just like I can never buy it. You know what I mean? And part of that has to do with like the filmmaking, but the rush nature and just like the overall messaging, like I just can't take it seriously. But again, it's like it's got the nuggets, and I like the two leads. It's not like they were turning in their best work or anything, but it's like that. I will remember this movie for like these two leads being scrappy. The movie where Elijah Wood, he has his vacation. Also, I wanted to mention, I'm glad they brought it back, because earlier on I just laughed out loud at this movie a lot when I probably it was not intentional.
Not intentional at all. They didn't want a single laugh in this movie.
Yeah,
Like, they wanted you to
I
be
laughed
like, they wanted you to
so
feel
much.
camaraderie, but like not to be like, oh,
This should have been
boys,"
our
like-
laugh out loud movie.
I know, really.
Because like, I thought about you, and I'm glad they brought the voiceover back. But the first time they introduced the voiceover, it's like 20 minutes in, and
Yeah.
he's like,
It was
I'm,
out of place.
I'm about to find out. You know, he's like, literally,
Yeah.
he's like, my name
Yeah.
is Zach Max Baxter, and I'm about to get an education in something I never could have learned at any Ivy League school. And then and I was like, okay, bud, like, thank you for that.
dude,
and
I
then,
kinda
and then
forgot
there's
there
no more
was voiceover.
voiceover for like another 40 minutes. And then he's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I remember, I don't know, it feels like an afterthought, but it was cracking my ass up because it definitely felt like screenwriting school. They were like, yeah, we need notes
when
here.
he
I
said-
need who's this
Yeah.
guy? You got to wrap it all up for me. Who is, what's the deal?
Yeah, when they said Ivy League school, I was like, this is killing me. Like, they're like Harvard.
I know. and the ending, honestly, hit good, even though I feel like the messaging was a little squonky. It hit good just because it's like I liked that it didn't revert to the voiceover. It was like, and then that was my summer on Green Street. Like, that's what I was fucking expecting. But like,
Yeah.
him standing up for himself and then him walking out, and it's like, it's not music, it's all the people chanting, but he's alone, but he's chanting down the street. And where he's like carries that with him. I thought that was a really cool idea, even though, again, you're getting mixed signals.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
I think
I'm letting my dog out.
I know. Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's like, I think if they trimmed this down and then focused a little bit more on like one aspect to really to hone in on, like really focusing in on like either the group, so we have that dynamic, or more of the stakes of just like having, because there wasn't like a main character, like it kind of fought between the two, clearly like Elijah and the other guy, but like it would just be like, it was like, I don't know, I think what sums up this movie really well is he shows up at the apartment, in London, and the sister's all like, oh, happy to see you, and and it seems kind of tense, and I was like waiting for them to do like a domestic abuse thing there, but it's like seemed tense, and then like he meets him, and he's like, I'm gonna leave, and she's like, oh, you haven't even been here 24 hours and you're gonna leave, and like that's just the vibe of this, where it's like, we gotta wrap it up, guys. Like I could see the script soup like on the side of the camera, like just tapping, like we gotta just keep burning through this. We got a lot of story to tell. God, we got like a lot of people to follow. Because like the sister, it's like everyone is kind of two-dimensional in this, and that's the bummer. It's like,
Well, that's the
it
thing.
shows them. Yeah,
I could forgive all the filmmaking, you know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily like bad, but it does
really
feel
it isn't. But
it does feel amateur, and that's fine. I mean, we made a movie and it's amateur as fuck, but like, it's like it
our
does
budget
feel.
was.
Yeah,
we had less of a budget than Splitter, so
yeah, right. But it's like, if like any movie, it starts with the screenplay, man. And if this had a rock solid screenplay, it does feel like this was a first draft. They filmed it and they kind of added some stuff, and they kind of like were just like rolling with it. And then they kind of feel like, because again, you make a movie 3 times, and then it feels like in the editing, they kind of were like it feels like maybe they needed a pickup shot, so it didn't ever quite get the cohesiveness, and it never quite came together in the way that it could have from the get-go. You know what I mean? And it just feels like, messy.
Yeah,
to me.
What it feels like to me is like it's a movie where they shot enough to get this movie, but they probably edited a really solid film, but they were like, oh shit, it's only like 86 minutes. And they're like, we can't, so it's like, okay, well, if we want to add, like, we want this to be like a quote unquote, feature, so we have to add in this extra plot line that, like, this extra thing that we had that we cut, and now we have to bring it back in. Yeah. It's kind of the vibe. It just feels like that, where it's like, it feels a little thin, for the length
spread
of the film,
thin
so,
for sure. But it's like there are a lot of good nuggets there you could have focused on and just explored those and cut some of the other fluff.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like even him being a journalist would be cool if that was a secret. Like, it's like for the audience, we know it the whole time, you know, and then like when you find out that like one guy in the group, you know, the main character, he knows it too, and then that becomes such a betrayal, and it's like, I don't know, it's so convoluted, and like it should have just been like that's the betrayal for the whole group, and then that's how he comes back in, or you know, then yeah, you cut out other things.
Here's where it's gonna all come down to it for me, though. Here's where it's all gonna come down to it. I can forgive a lot. I'm very forgiving, but I need to know. I specifically didn't look it up because if this had a Splinter-sized budget, then I forgive a lot of things, you know, because it's a good thing. So you tell me, Money Minute, how much was this movie cost to make?
That's tough to find. I can't find the exact budget on it. This because it's like it's an indie film, not made in America.
Yeah, that's
so
always kind of
it doesn't
harder.
really have. Yeah, it doesn't have quite the. I couldn't find those solid numbers on it, but
I mean, it's got
I will
Frodo in
say
it. It's got to be.
it has to. No, but he loves.
He does. He does it. He does it for the love. He does it for the love of the game, and that's why we like it.
So he probably got paid like whatever, like his SAG, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Whatever that is, you know, probably like $100,000 or something. But, so he did this for cheap, you know, and I know it was made for cheap, but my frame of reference is her second movie. She did that for $20 million, but then her Punisher movie, which is backed by a huge IP. That was $35 million. So knowing this small little indie, it couldn't have been over $20 million. Couldn't have been. There's just no way in my heart. So we've been doing Money Minutes for how many years now? And like I've been surprised before.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for a budget, like a higher budget for like a kind of poorly made movie. But it couldn't be over 20. I guarantee you it's, I don't know, 12 million max.
Take this with a grain of salt, because, you know, this is often wrong, but the AI overview, when I typed in Green Street Hooligans budget onto Google, the AI overview says that it was $3.5 million for the time, so approximately $6.5 million US dollars, $6.5 million US.
Okay, right. I was gonna say I could see it being $5 million.
I was gonna say
too.
5 to 10.
5 to 10
is
I lived comfortably in there.
understandable, but this
because it
feels like a
that's as
$1
much
to
as
$2 million movie.
That's as much as it made. That's like the worldwide box office on it is 3.5 million. So maybe it's kind of giving those numbers too.
So,
but anyhow, so it's just like, yeah. So it could have, it's anywhere from 5 to 12 is what I would, you know, because it got distribution and stuff. So it's like, who knows? But
just for reference out there, that is, if it was 6.5 million, which is, you know, that's pretty low budget, and that's, you know, that's fairly good. But
that's hella low budget. Yeah,
that's 382 Splinters, just so you know.
I know. Just so you know, you could have made 382 movies. Isn't that crazy?
Because if you would have told me this movie was like $400,000, I would have been like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the thing. If it didn't have Elijah, and if it didn't have that other dude, it's like Sons of Anarchy.
Like if we tried to make this movie with just like people we knew, you know, around, and not just like big time guys, and ended up with the same project pretty much more or less, but like a lot of people in the community.
You could do this for $1 million, dude.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much money they spent on those fake bricks. You know, they probably that prop department. It might have been.
I know, really though. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, because they were definitely like, I just loved it too, because like that. Oh, just one sec. Alexa, stop. That the end brawl, the last scene. You know, it has to be epic. They were. Did you see how many bricks and detritus was getting thrown around?
Yeah.
And I was just like, but then no one used a weapon. There were like 2 people who used like a piece of wood, and then the main bad guy, he had like a, oh my god, what are those called? The baton. He had like one of those like retracting batons, and I'm like, nobody's. That's what's so silly. I'm like, you wouldn't use like brass knuckles or a chain or something. You wouldn't like. Dude. But you know, I guess that's not knuckle, you know, that's not just bare boxing. But
I feel all right. I just pulled up the Reddit. I feel kind of bad because there's like quite a few comments, and it seems like people generally like it.
And no, and they love it, and that's
good. I can see the cult following.
Please,
behind this. I can see the cult following.
Yes, I know. This is like I am literally like what I'm griping because it's 100% personal, but objectively. Looking at this film and like stepping aside from who I am, I know this was like super fun and super cool for somebody who loves this like this world. Like I 100% get it. Like I'm trying so hard. Like that's why I'm like Pusher is kind of the closest thing I can think of where it's like really poorly made but kind of like fun. You know, it's like I don't know. You know, that's like yeah. So it's like I totally that's if you guys listen to this podcast and you've made it to the end, thank you so much. And I read your comments and I think they're amazing. And I'm so happy you like this movie. Like this, it is a movie where I'm like it isn't that bad of a film. Like this, I would rather watch this than a lot of other films out
Same, yeah. Because even though I didn't think it was particularly good, I still enjoyed myself. I had a good time watching it. I was never like bored. Yeah.
Exactly. I never wanted to turn it off.
Yeah, I was never bored. I just was just like, that's silly, laughing. But like I'm like, they're so serious. There's
Yeah, right. It is. I got like I thought I'm like it just the sincerity wasn't quite there for me, and that's fine. I feel like you could you could see it. It is they're trying to be sincere, and I just kind of like I'm like I don't know the time period. We're 20 years away from it. So
I want to hear. I haven't read any of these yet, so I want to hear some people's. I want to hear from the people who do like it. Let's see what they got to say. So,
yeah,
I'll read a couple. So, Cobb Salad says, it's been a while since I've seen it, but that movie ending had a lasting effect on me. Charlie Hunnam and Elijah Wood are spectacular in it, and the themes of learning your limits are shown very well without over-explaining. Green Street Elite. Yeah, the idea of learning your limits, like, I do, like, it's got good themes. It just kind of, like, doesn't,
I know, right?
For me, but thank you for that comment. Vegetable ad 3960 says, I remember this being the cinematic hot potato back in secondary school. Whenever it was mentioned, all the cool kids would turn into the little bit ooh, little bit ah man from the Fast Show because they claimed to have seen it and thought they were hard as a result. Still haven't seen it. I somehow get the feeling it lacks the charm of the Football Factory and always wondered what Frodo was doing in it, but that's like putting Potter in Train Spotting. But maybe I'll give it a spin out of curiosity. Yes, please do. I've not heard of any of those other things, but I'm sure that's some British references. But
you were saying, some great stuff, and I'm like, when I read that comment, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. See, that's what I mean. Like, this is a movie where I'm like, I totally can see people being like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. Like you're like 15, and you're like fucking, I've seen that fucking hard movie. Yeah. That's like, well, I don't know.
When I saw This Is England, because I was reminded kind of This Is England, but it does it takes those ideas and then at the end it's like, actually this is a bad thing. Like this is it's like it does come around. It's just like
right.
You get the camaraderie, you get all the things of family, but then you're like, oh, this is a racist gang that I'm a part of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then. Clones of People 2 says, I haven't seen this in years and I forgot how little sports is in this film. Sorry about that. Ha ha ha. Definitely more football culture than a football film. Fair, that's fine. This film is definitely clouded by nostalgia for me. It was huge when it came out, only called Green Street. The Hooligans was added later. I think the energy of this film is perfect for what it's going for. It's paced very well. It's rough around the edges, and I forgot how violent it is. It's very much about male brotherhood and how in European culture, football is not just a team to support, it's an identity. Legendary manager Bill Shankly once said, football is not a matter of life and death. It's much more important than that. I think it was a good choice to put this in the perspective of an American, and I'm interested to see how someone with no knowledge of English football culture will see this. For me, West Ham hate Millwall, no explanation needed. So small detail is that the final fight has Wembley Stadium in the background. Wembley is the home of English football and where the final of the cup is traditionally held. For a lot of fans, winning the Wembley is a life dream. Personally, I'm a big fan of this, but I'm wearing rose-tinted glasses. If you like this, I recommend The Football Factory. That's what the other guy said. Same thing for the British audience. And Snatch, similar energy. Oh, yeah, Snatch. I forgot about that.
Oh, Snatch. See, yeah, right. Yeah.
This does have a Guy Ritchie kind of vibe. Like,
totally, 100%. Yeah, it's Girl Ritchie because
yeah.
and
then you got several. I won't say other names, but you got several quotes like, "Ever heard of a Chelsea grin? He was your son, and he's a fucking journo."
Yeah, journo, dude, it's good. So good. No, the whole time I forgot to mention this. I'm so mad I didn't mention this before. Thank you for that comment, and thanks everybody for comments. And dude, the IT crowd does a fucking bit that kills me every time when he's like, "You can't take my Wexham from me," or whatever, and then he's like, that Arsenal's always
when they
trying
learn,
to walk it in.
yeah,
yeah,
and then they become part of the gang.
Yeah,
they become
part
the
of gang,
bank
and
robbers.
it's like,
Yeah.
That's literally all I could think of the whole time I was watching
So
this,
good.
and I forgot to mention it. It's so good. But
Oh,
dude,
God.
thank you for it's like that is context that I'm missing. Like I can't even like the words you said there. I'm like it's like
It is a lot of that. I do feel
no
like
idea where you're
a
like
culture. And
Yeah,
I do appreciate
right.
it because I do feel like they did a good job having, like Elijah Wood as the American character and come in and like try and explain everything to him. Like that was good for us, you know what I mean? And it's like it helped me buy into it a little bit more and try and understand, like at least from an outsider perspective, like the stakes and everything. And that quote that Clones of People 2 said about like the football manager, about how it's more important than life and death, like that tracks. That's like I don't get that, but I understand that perspective and how that ideology came to be, and that's what this movie is. You know what I mean? It's like, but I had a hard time buying into it because I'm like, I don't feel that strongly about anything. You know what I mean? Like,
anything. No, that's the thing. I'm like really. I think that's what's so hard is like I can't equate this to anything in my life because like everything I like, I'm like I enjoy it, and I don't know. I don't have like a
and
I don't have a hard edge, and I
anyone,
think that's what's like,
every fanatic that we do have here, religious, political, whatever, or sports, like I'm like I look at that and I'm like, that's stupid. You guys are silly. And so that I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I see
That's
the
my
intensity
bias.
behind this, and I'm just like, really? You guys are gonna kill over
I think
this?
it's
like
and I'm like, and culturally, I'm just not there because like watching this, I'm like, why are they so angry? Like what? Look, what do they have to be so angry about? Like, they're not like no one was really oppressed or feeling like they created all of their
it's
own.
not about
things. So just, like,
soccer. It's
socially,
about the friends we made along the way. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's it becomes when something else becomes your ideology, then it's just like then you don't have to have individuality, as we see with so many other fanatic fandoms of whatever. You know,
I guess just like
but like,
I don't know.
but that's
So
bad.
I'm
I
happy
think.
that
So
everyone
it's,
likes it. I
am happy that everyone
likes
likes it, and I'm like I'm glad it won. You know, I'm happy to have seen it because I haven't heard it. I mean, I've heard of this movie, but all the movies are like I'm glad. You know, and I would be interested to watch more of this type of movie. You know what I mean? I would check it out. I'd go down that road.
I know, right? We don't
Maybe
really
one
do
day.
like. Yeah, we haven't done like
A
British
crime type of thing, or specifically
even just British. Like we only know like probably I don't know 12 British movies, and even then, Trainspotting's not like a British movie, so it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know what I guess
Scottish.
28 Days Later is like my only. That's like that's my big one. But.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's got some problems, and obviously we didn't love it, but I can see the appeal. So
Yeah. No, that's the whole thing. I 100% get. I mean, even everyone in the comment is like, I loved this when I was younger, and it's so I have that nostalgia, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, hold on to that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Come to Patreon. Give us some money for it.
For our takes, they're like, whatever. They hated that movie. I'm unsubscribing. I'm never commenting again.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, come comment. Come tell us how wrong we are. Even though people who did comment kind of did, but
kind of did, yeah.
And thank you. Thank you.
No, I do appreciate it, and I like to see the other perspectives from because we can only judge based on our own perspectives, and so it's like I like to kind of cast the net out there and see what you guys think. So.
Right. We're like Galactus, and we're just trying to swallow up every movie that we could ever see. So.
It's true. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
As many stars as they are in the sky, we want.
Yeah, that's what I want. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We got another sports movie coming up next week. We'll see what it is, and then we'll see. We'll go from there. So
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Bye.